Welcome to Austria Formula 1 2020, all set to go, and we've got a surprising front row. We thought Mercedes would be top, but it's Red Bull. Albon has outpaced Verstappen, but they monopolised the front row. You got Perez doing an amazing job for the Racing Point in third. Valtteri Bottas, he starts fourth. That's the best performance from Mercedes. Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll behind, and then down in seventh comes Lewis Hamilton, going for his 7th World Championship this year, but can he do it if that Mercedes performance is not just a one-off? And we'll find out in the next couple of races. It could be quite difficult. Ferrari, they have not come out of a quick car. Vettel's just managed to scrape that Ferrari into the top 10, but I think this is going to be a difficult race and potentially a difficult season for them. There were two Ferraris sandwiching the Renaults, and then it come the AlphaTauris. So it's going to be an interesting race. We'll see if Red Bull can hold us their advantage in the race. I think that it's certainly, there's a bit of rain in the air, and it looks like that's going to come down, and that's going to give us something, another variable in the race to keep an eye on, and that'll be very interesting to see what happens there. No real surprises down the rest of the grid. We've got the Alfa Romeos, the Hasses, and then finally the Williams. George Russell getting ahead, staying ahead of his new teammate Nicholas Latifi. And now we head on to the race itself, and I hope you enjoy. So here we are on the grid. You see those two Red Bulls on the front row, and then the Racing Point and the Mercedes behind them. It is wet, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Albon is away well, so is Verstappen. Hamilton trying to hold position from Norris and Vettel. He's not made the strongest of starts, I don't think. And Albon leads into turn one. Max having a look there already. And Max Verstappen is into the lead of the race already. Into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix out of turn one. Max Verstappen leads the Grand Prix. Perez trying to hold off Bottas. Bottas going for a move. And he's going to have a look up the inside. Valtteri Bottas. And that's it. As he's lost his front wing, I think. As he lost his front wing. I don't know. There was definitely a bit of a bump. And Bottas is struggling to pick up pace here, and we think, has he got any damage? I don't know if he has. He has now. Yeah, he's just run into him again, so that's very clumsy from Bottas. That's twice he's run into the back of Perez. Does Perez have any damage? There is a little bit of a drier line developing, and I wonder if anybody's going to jump into the pit lane. It would be a bit of a brave gamble, I fancy, but we're going to try that sometimes. Bottas is holding everybody else up. This is surely, if there was any hope for anybody else to challenge Red Bull apart from possibly Perez, this is surely going to make that much more difficult, because everybody's stuck behind him. And look, there's Albon peeling into the pit lane. So, well, Max has passed him, and I guess Alex feels he's got to try something. But in such a short length of race, it's going to be difficult for him. He's getting in a miracle, or everybody else to find it's too dry and pit in the end of the next lap. There's Sainz, there's Hamilton. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it all shakes out. Yeah, Sainz. We're hearing Sainz has lost his rear wing in the pit lane. So, yeah, Carlos Sainz is out of the Grand Prix. Lost his rear wing in the pit lane. That's quite a bizarre incident. We didn't see it, of course. So Hamilton is all the way up to third. Norris is in fourth, and Vettel is in fifth. So these guys all stay out. They're going to get a handy amount of points here. We've got Kimi up in the points. We've got Magnussen, the AlphaTauri just ahead of him, the Williams, and then Albon behind the Williams in 10th, we think. So there we go. Verstappen and Perez are scot-free at the moment. They're a long, long way ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And Checo is keeping Max honest. He may not be able to challenge the win, but he's certainly keeping Max honest. And Max Verstappen he's looking solid at the minute. But there is the question, will any of them have to pit, or will they carry on? Max is certainly carrying on. So on to his last lap goes Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez following him. Will Lewis Hamilton stay out? We think Hamilton might have stayed out. Norris definitely hasn't. Norris is pitting. Vettel stayed out, and Hamilton stayed out ahead of him. We can see that for sure. So Norris, surely that's a terrible strategic error from McLaren. Everyone else is going to stay out. Norris has got one lap left to close down the gap. That's not going to happen. Albon is back up into 7th place, so he has recovered into points. So it's not been as bad a decision as it could have been. However, the fact remains, Albon probably still would be second had he not pitted. He is now 7th. Got Lance Stroll behind him, so Red Bulls, followed by Racing Points in both of their situations. Whereas, I believe that's now Max. So there's Hamilton. So, yeah, so Hamilton in third. Maybe glows a little bit, but he's got not really much pace. Vettel's done okay, hasn't he? Considering Ferrari are struggling throughout the qualifying. Vettel is in fourth place. That's not bad. There goes Albon. I believe that is through into sixth place. Here comes Max Verstappen. It's been a pretty dominant performance from Max, really. Perez has done well to keep him in check, but Max Verstappen wins the Austrian Grand Prix. What a great start to 2020 for Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez comes home second. Brilliant all weekend, brilliant qualifying, brilliant drive in the race. Hamilton third.
Lewis Hamilton
Did that one strategy, and it's, if Mercedes aren't there, Hamilton will be hoping that he can get enough points to hold him in till they are there. And Vettel in fourth place. That's a great performance as well. Really strong from Sebastian Vettel in the race. Again, strategy decisions, but that's why those guys are multiple world champions. They made the right calls and they got themselves up in the third and fourth place, Hamilton and Vettel. But it's Max Verstappen who has won the Grand Prix. Really good, solid performance from Max. And he'll be very enthusiastic about what the rest of the season may hold for him. So, Max leads the World Drivers' Championship for the first time in his career. Straight in off the mark, 25 points. Fantastic result. Red Bull have clearly built a good competitive car, and it'll be interesting to see if Mercedes can come back at them. Sergio Perez, second place. People were talking in pre-season about the pace of that Racing Point, and he's proved the point. He's not let them down. He qualified well in third, and he's stayed up there all through the weekend, all throughout the race, and finished second. What a great performance from Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton, third place. Damage limitation, clawed back what he could. It wasn't everything he could get, so Lewis just had to do the best he could. We'll see how this pans out throughout the season. Hopefully, Mercedes will get back in and make it a battle. Lewis going for world title number 7, but the way Red Bull have been today, that's going to be hard to do. Sebastian Vettel, great performance from him, fourth place, all the way through from 9th on the grid. Had the edge over his teammate Charles Leclerc all weekend as well. So fantastic from Vettel, and considering the car Ferrari have at the moment, a really good start. So, yeah, Max Verstappen's on 25 points, Perez on 18, Hamilton 15, Vettel 12, obviously, with one race, you know the way it runs. Then Albon, Gasly, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Stroll and Latifi in the Championship Constructors. Red Bull 35, Racing Point 20, Mercedes 15, Ferrari 12, AlphaTauri 8, Alfa Romeo 6, Haas 4 and Williams 1, and only McLaren and Renault already after one race have not scored points. So that started off well. If you're enjoying this, like and subscribe and keep up with what we're doing. We're going to do several different evolution projects going along with each other. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you soon.